Alright, time for our briefing from Seven Toes. Just skipping straight to that now, to not deal with that guy's crap. Glad to see you're still alive. Cacophony needs good determined blood like yours. Grinning, Seven Toes raises a fist in salute. What do you need from me? I haven't asked about Hector and Bronze before? We've met him before. Maybe I didn't, actually. I should probably ask more about him, since that's something that could lead to Nerat getting indicted or whatever. So, indicted, that might not be the right word. Tell me about Hector and Bronze. Don't let that merchant's humble cloth fool you. He has much influence as the next Crimson Spear. One who has the ear of voices in Nerat, no less. She leans in close. If you ask me, he's a tool that's begun to rust. No one with that much sway with the Archon should be trusted for very long. If you find yourself in Lethian's Crossing, speak with him and see if he'll break if you apply a bit of pressure. I'm not confident as I ought to be about where he stands with the Scarlet Chorus these days. Typo, second not. She shrugs. Who knows? I could be wrong. I could speak with him. I probably just won't, though. Good, and don't be shy to handle the job yourself if you find him lacking the loyalty necessary for his status. He bites her thumb and shrugs. Standard procedure. So what I'm learning is I should not kill him, because then I could potentially use him to gain information against Nerat. I have questions about the Stone Sea. Go ahead and ask. Thanks to the edict, the Stone Sea shakes worse than Tunon banging his gavel. The local beastmen don't seem to mind, but getting a good night's sleep is easier said than done. Tell me about the Edict of Stone. I can only tell you what I know. Kairos cast the Edict of Stone to kill the rebellious Archon Cairn. He's still out there in the wilderness clinging to life, somehow. She shrugs. Archons. His death throes and the Edict's power have changed the land, as you can see. I'm curious about the Stone Sea. This used to be the realm of Azure, but the name doesn't suit any longer. Only pockets of the Stone Sea are still habitable, and even then, it's mostly by beastmen. Halfgate is the last human settlement that I know of, aside from Cacophony. Still can't believe the town survived the third year of the war. I think what I'm learning here is that I should take Kills and Shadow with me into this area, because apparently it's full of beastmen, and that's probably the most interesting time to use that character. And it might even unlock capabilities, much like taking Lantry into his related location seemed kind of important. Tell me about the beastmen in the Stone Sea. Many of them are former slaves whose masters fled or died during the war. As you can imagine, they have no love lost for humanity. The closest we usually get to conscripting them is offering assurances that they'll have the opportunity to kill more humans. She smiles. They may be dumb as rocks, but at least they recognize a good arrangement. Have I sent anyone to Voices Nerat that didn't end up on a spike or missing? She scrutinizes you for a long moment and sighs. To your question, a question. Do I go around asking the Archon of Secrets dumb questions, and if I did, would any of the answers be remotely satisfying? She looks at you with the meaning and waits. If the answer to either of those is no, then don't bother asking me. Aye, good luck with the Stone Sea. Don't keep the Voices waiting too long. Shaky shaky. Again, trial of loyalty. Can talk to Harkin and Bronze for loyalty. I'm tempted. I don't want to kill him, and I'm hoping the game won't make me kill him if he turns out to be disloyal to Nerat at all, because I can use that. Status report. Fatebinder, you are to report to the Bastard City at once. Be prompt, lest I mistake your tardiness for reluctance. Tunon, the Adjudicator, Archon of Justice. I will send a confirmation. As your request, Archon Tunon, as your request, I will appear in your court in good time. Fatebinder Lovebridge. Sent. Don't want him getting mad at me. It's the one character I've been trying to work with, but the game doesn't fucking give me the proper access sometimes. We'll see though, maybe I have some important information I can actually use against him. That does make me wonder if I should check with Bronze first. Oh, that'll be easy to do also. If I stop by my tower, I can teleport directly to Lethian's Crossing, which means I'm right where Bronze is, so no time really passes. I don't know if any amount of time passing actually can affect your interaction here. But he's up in Bastard City, so I think going to the Sunset Spire is actually a faster way of getting there. I assume. It would make sense, it's like right there. So yeah, go to Mountain Spire, teleport to Sunset Spire, visit the local area, and so on. Let's get out top. I should have a response from him by the time I get there if he feels any need to respond. It seemed imprudent to ask for more information. Well, prudent was actually, it probably is prudent, but it seemed a little reckless to ask for more information because I might get in deep shit with him at that point. I think this vendor lets me do. I think the local. Oh, he already sent me another message. Excellent. We await your return. I wasn't supposed to respond to that, was I? Yeah, it's just archived. Nope. Yeah, it's just archived. Okay. I should probably. I'll get kills in shadow on the way back. If I'm gonna be interrogated about my recent behavior or anything like that, I might want to bring the same people with me that were there on the actual mission. Can any of you train? You can train. Everyone else has not leveled up since the last time we trained. Wow, so these three characters never leveled up over the course of that entire dungeon run then, because I trained them right before I went in. 1, 2, thrown, parry, dodge. Dodge and parry are not unreasonable, but I feel like I can do better than this. Wish I could remember what the trainers are available at the other place. That's fine. I'm going there regardless. So I'll see when I get there. Pew! Magical teleport, instantaneous. Hopefully brief loading screen. Are those skeletons in robes? Oh yeah, those are skulls under those robes. Oh right, we have the sage. I think that'll be something. I think I have something useful for my caster here. Lightning. There we go. That's something that's worth it. Lightning and frost, and it's cheap, which is much appreciated. Do I have a local vendor here? I forget. All my options are just training and stuff. Could have gone. Oh yeah, right, lore. I probably should have done lore. That was probably a mistake. It's fine. Lightning's also useful, but she could use better lore skill. There's not much else to do here. Let's head down into Lethian's Crossing and give Mr. Bronze a little talking to. It will break you between thigh. Ready to have a talking to, Bronze? Maybe do a quick save. There we go. There he is. Ah, Fatebinder, come to stock up, I see. Harkin Bronze at your service. What can I do for you? The voices in Narod has questions about your recent dealings. His eyes widen, and his once energetic and cheery facade quickly becomes still and cold. I thought we settled on the arrangement some time ago. Has something? He frowns and waves for you to have on. Ask your questions then. Do you cover your tracks when you make deals with the Scarlet Chorus? He rises up to his full height. I am a professional, and I treat every transaction with the utmost confidence. The voices in Narat should have no doubts on that account. If I checked your ledgers, I wouldn't find anything suspect. His confidence falters. I suppose that depends on what you're looking for. If I keep a second set of records that factor in side dealings, but an authority would certainly realize that I do business with the Scarlet. He realized what he said and covered his mouth. Did the voices want me to keep them separate? By Karis, I never thought that anyone would ask. Do you sell to the disfavored? He blinks and responds in a low tone. I can hardly refuse a customer, can I? It would be suspect if I refused a servant of Kairos because of the color of their raiment. I save my best goods and prices for the Scarlet Chorus, but you cannot fault me for plying my trade. So you're an opportunist, then? He lowers his voice to a whisper. But a loyal one? I thought the voices in Nerat would appreciate someone who knows how to play both sides. Let him know his trust isn't misplaced. Have you ever cheated the Scarlet Chorus in a deal? He chuckles. I know better than that. The voices in Nerat is a shrewd businessman, and it wouldn't surprise me if he kept tabs on every weapons deal I've conducted with his elite troops. He wonders for a moment. Come to think of it, it also wouldn't surprise me if he didn't care at all. The way I see it, why would I chance angering a Scarlet Fury or Blood Chanter when I could settle for my agreed-upon fee? You never risk a client's ire for your benefit? Certainly not. Enemies are such complications. So much feeding and upkeep, always looking over one's shoulder. He shoos away the concept. Let my clients handle their enemies. I only need friends. Let's see. I can put my hand on my weapon and say, let's cut the charade. You know why I'm here. Now how much for me to just walk away? Or just keep asking. Have you ever sold information to anyone other than the Scarlet Chorus? That didn't really work. There we go. Harkund inhales dramatically, looking shocked. I would never. That kind of information is only meant to be shared with very specific people. The very idea... Whoa. There's a Scarlet Chorus Wrath requirement. Kind of surprising I don't have enough Scarlet Chorus Wrath yet. I suggest you tell me the truth before things get ugly. Harkund looks away from you, lost in a sea of thoughts. He nods to himself after a moment. I can see you can tell a good liar when you see. You can tell a good liar when you see one. So does the Archon of Secrets, which is precisely what he pays me for. He takes a deep breath. I may have purposely slipped to Redeman that the Forge-bound Master was heading to Lethian's Crossing, and perhaps the intent of her visit. You see, he was the perfect tool to get the Forge-bound Master into our grasp. He puts up his hands. And before you get up in arms about what I've done, understand that I acted on my own. The Voice has no idea I was behind any of this. I trust this will stay between just you and me, he grins with a toothy smile. For the Archon's sake. I can say he did something for the greater good, or I can attack him for two different reasons. Kill him for acting without orders, or kill him... So you're telling me the truth dies with you? Good. Let's see. It is kind of an opportunity to weaken the Archon, but this is not really. Is this? Now I'm trying to remember how the hell Tunon's law works. Sometimes, I don't think I don't think I have a reason to kill him based on that. Especially since I do stuff for the greater good that even is technically illegal, like go into the old walls. I understand that what you did was for the greater good. I will make sure your loyalty is known. He bows deeply. I knew you'd understand. Now, let us put this ugly business behind us. From now on, you will have a significant discount on my wares. That's convenient. Also, I should sell stuff, so there's that too. So many currencies. Beastman Claw. A brand. Some Scarlet Notebook. I assume I don't have a reason to keep these things around because they're listed in the weird, like, sell stuff menu. I hope. So that's worth 19 already. Oh my god, I'm afraid to sort through all these items now. There weren't so many pieces of equipment last time. Oh god. Oh god. What do I do? Well, it's all in the stash. If it's in the stash, that means that I put it here on purpose. Let's start selling off, especially all of the white quality items. Because if it's in the stash, that should mean that I put it here because it didn't fit with my characters. You know what? Let's not sell equipment for now. I'm gonna avoid selling equipment specifically because I might be switching in a new character in my party, and admittedly I don't know how Kills and Shadows equipment works necessarily, but I should check to see if I have good stuff to put on them before I sell off all of my secondary random items. But I should have a lot of money coming my way in the near future. For now, I'll just sell off the trash items. Taking us up to 57. And it's good to maintain this because I'm slowly losing money because of the cost of my spires. Mercy, two-handed. How's that compared to your weapon? It's hard to compare, I guess, because it's two-handed. Devastating and rejuvenating. Accelerates recovery on kill. And knockback on crits. 6 armor penetration. There's some big weapons around here, but you gotta be okay with the idea of using a two-handed weapon. Making that kind of switch. Control illusions and magic staff. I would love to find more equipment that helps with performance skill, for example. Grounding garbs. Plus 10 shock armor. There's decent stuff around here. Do I have... Yeah, that's fire core. Yeah, I should have all of the cores this guy sells at this point. Alright, let's get back out of here. Am I supposed to check back on them? Report to 7 Toes? I think I'll wait until I finish the entire next mission. I can report back to 7 Toes about that when I'm reporting back about the Sea of Stone, I think. Well, we haven't been here for a while. Some of these characters haven't been here ever. Any new faces? Lady Lucrezia. I don't recognize that name. This well-dressed older woman stands apart from the milling crowds of nobles. She stares off into the distance, oblivious of your approach, until you're right in front of her. Oh, greetings, she offers a reserved smile. And Lucrezia, formerly of Thistleholm. You have the look of someone who belongs here, a Fatebinder, no doubt? She nods. Do you need something from me? What are all these nobles doing in Tunon's court? She smirks and shakes her head. Trying to look brave, I warrant, but if you crane an ear to any of their conversations, you'll hear a different tale. 3 years since Tunon set up shop in Bastard City. We're still getting used to our new masters and figuring out what we can and can't ask of them. She nods to the assembled nobles. These are smart, ring-plenty folk. The way they approach Tunon, you'd think that they were raised under a tyrant's lash. Some have come to settle a grievance, others to pledge fealty. I've been standing around long enough to know that the Adjudicator doesn't care for empty gestures. How has the Bastard City fared since the conquest? Kairos' forces took the city, as we expected them to, without mercy or restraint. The Scarlet Chorus spilled more blood than we had to give. We had to tighten our belts when the army replenished their supplies from our farms and caravans. After our surrender, Tunon was kind enough to order grain hauled from the north. That earned him a lot of favor. We've suffered our share of hardships, but it seems that Kairos wants us alive. That's a more generous outcome than some of us were led to believe. What brings a noble like yourself to Tunon's court? A frown cracks her pleasant demeanor. Like the rest of the frightened inbreds here, I came to see Tunon and ask him to right a wrong. My manor was destroyed during the conquest. I told the Adjudicator my woes, but we didn't exactly see eye to eye. What is Thistleholm? A great sigh deflates her. It was my family's ancestral hall. The oldest stones dated back to the years when the Bastard City was naught but a dozen roofs and wagons clustered for warmth. Compared to the homes of the great lords, it was nothing special. Age had softened the wood, and its queer placement in the warehouse district set it apart from the finer grounds where lords and ladies strolled for amusement. It was a mess, but our mess all the same. I would invite you over for tea, something stronger even, but it would only disappoint. You'll find naught there but a gaping hole. What happened? Collateral damage happened. When the Adjudicator cast his judgment on the Bastard City, he destroyed the districts with the corrupt merchant kings, their manors, their counting houses, and yes, their warehouses. Aged, dignified Thistleholm collapsed as a mighty sinkhole opened under her foundation. The Bastard City's laws may not have been perfect by Kairos' standards, but my family followed them with respect, and never took a copper ring more than we deserved. I can't help but feel like my estate was not the criminal Tunon had in mind during the sentencing. So what are you going to do next? That's the question, isn't it? I appealed to the Adjudicator, thinking he would see reason. After considering my case for all of 8 seconds, he awarded me a belt of rings and a plot of land on the outskirts of the city. Tunon told me to build anew and start farming. Farming, can you believe that? She shakes her head. It's not even that I'm opposed to labor, but we're in a war. I can't have the Scarlet Chorus breathing down my neck, raiding my crops, and Kairos knows what else. Kairos' laws are made to serve the masses, not the individual. I can appreciate that, especially when there's suffering or corruption on a grand scale. It all makes sense on parchment, doesn't it? She glances to the left and right with unease. I continue from a long line of smart, ring-savvy merchants, but even I can't reconcile Tunon's justice with Kairos' law. There's something wrong about it all. Maybe Tunon knows something I don't, or maybe... She trails off, shaking her head in doubt. What do you mean? People come here for justice. They usually get a version of it, but it's Tunon's version, not theirs. Half the time, they don't even get what they wanted out of a ruling in their favor. She shakes her head. The deed to a farm, for instance. Not to put my own ignorance on display, but if more people knew how Kairos' laws work, they might not come here seeking a ruling at all, even a fair one. Tunon is a servant of law, but he's the Overlord's vassal as much as any of us. Sometimes it seems like he uses his position to twist everything in the Empire's favor. We're just pieces on a board, and he can move us wherever the law justifies that we land. That doesn't sound, well, legal. Immediately I have an option to use subterfuge to be all conniving about it and be like, fascinating. Now, how much is my silence worth to you, ungrateful one? And I can probably just take the money that they're getting for the farm because they talked about it in the first place. Haha. Let's see. Kairos defines the law. That isn't for either of us to question. She sighs. I suppose not. The bastard city used to have the laws of woman and mankind, but now we have laws of the Overlord. The people will get accustomed to it in time, and so will I. Good day, Fatebinder. You probably could have killed her at some point in that conversation if you went down the right path. Seems like it's entirely within the possibility. Are they both? They are both still here. Both factions are still here. Hello, Rogalus. That's one of the people we were sending missives back and forth with. There's Tunon, the strange hovering creature. We have 2 smoke monsters in this army. Strange detail. Well, he wanted to see us. You know, everyone should probably stay back. You guys do you. You returned as summoned, despite the weight of responsibility on your shoulders. The court appreciates your devotion to our good work. It should come as no surprise that your activities are closely monitored. As an extension of Kairos' law on the frontier, your progress is a topic of some interest. Tunon pauses to regard you with an intense stare. I sent you on a mission to bring order to the chaos of the Civil War. Not enough time has passed for me to expect any significant progress, but I'm curious about your findings all the same. I want to make sure your time outside of the court's shadow is being used effectively. The Scarlet Chorus sing your name across the tiers. You must have taken some brutal measures to earn their interest, no small feat. No matter what terrors you inflict on this fallen realm, I hope that you continue to observe the voices of Nerat. If he has sowed chaos in this campaign, the court would know of it. I'm happy to be an asset to Kairos' forces and to pull chaos out by the root. That is all the court has ever demanded of you. You do well to recall your duties with such an exacting precision. You have spent some time on your own it's not a word I'm used to saying. Recognizance? Yeah. You have spent some time on your own recognizance. The efforts of our military and challenges they face shouldn't be no mystery to you. Tell me, are you any closer to determining which of the Archons is at fault for the troubles of this campaign? Yes? Do I have to pick one? I mean, I have more evidence of the voices, but that's because I'm constantly around the voices. But they're all clearly up to something. And I don't get to look at my journal? I want to look at my journal to review the notes. Because I have a decent number of my stuff, but I don't have a ton of information, though. I do not have sufficient information to make an informed accusation. Come now, your decision does not bind you to an accusation. At this time, I only wish to know if you have had any success at uncovering any evidence of misdeed or malfeasance. If you believe either of the Archons has acted in a manner not befitting you for their station, give voice to it. I wish instead of making an accusation, I could just present my evidence. Because I have evidence for both, but I also would love to point the finger at voices, because it just feels good. And I have the evidence. More evidence because I've been around them. There's no question, the voices in Nerat is guilty of inciting chaos. Interesting, on what grounds do you make this claim? Oh my god, there's so much evidence now. Let's see. I even have a subterfuge option in here. Do I get to say all these things, or only one, is the question. Let's see. Forgebound Master and Harkon Bronze are both good options. Then there's a huge thing about, there's a whole element about the subterfuge option is about him baiting the conflict. And then I have proof that he's up to something suspicious. And then the shitty option of, well, look at him, he's terrifying. Under the Voice's orders, Harkon Bronze smuggled iron weapons to the Vendrian Guard. The Adjudicator weighs her statement with interest. The space between the eyes of his mask narrows, though the change is too gradual for you to follow. Material evidence is hollowed to the court. I respect your diligence in collecting it, Fatebinder. You bring hope to my ambitions of bringing order to this divisive campaign. Be sure that you remember this, and any other evidence you identify, when you are called upon to present this finding in a more formal manner. I look forward to receiving your full report. I will summon you again at the appropriate time. If there's nothing further, you are dismissed. I have some questions first. Seriously though, I'm curious about you. Curious is not a trait I like. But seriously, what's the deal with the mask? This should be obvious to you by now, student. Since the answer is relevant to your duties, I will not tolerate your ignorance. I will tolerate your ignorance and explain. The face is an uncontrollable warrant of muscle spasms and reactionary contortions. Let's see. We've been through all this already. That's what I was looking for. Does the Mask of Resolve grant you the power of judgment? An astute question. Kairos would certainly be willing, within her authority, to grant me the function to do extraordinary deeds. But no, the mask is a symbol. Justice itself grants me power. An objective ruling is its own consent to enact incredible wonders. Such is my right as the Archon of Law. When I recognize a jurisprudent needed, there is nothing I cannot do. I wore it when I brought Kairos' devastating judgment to the bastard city, and doubtless I will ever wear it again. Oh. But what do you look like underneath the masks? He hovers in silence, staring down at you. Your Honor? This is a bad idea. The shadows wreathing Tunon's feet whip about like waves in a storm, ebbing and flowing in your direction. An unmistakable air of danger fills the room. Your Honor? Oh my god. Keeps going. The question is irrelevant. Justice is ageless, sexless, devoid of opinion, other than right or wrong. The face is extraneous to the function of law. Move on from this line of questioning, Fatebinder. It will do you no good. Yeah, but what do you look like? Do you even remember? It doesn't. You don't lose any favor, technically. And wrath is a resource that helps you, I guess. Because it gets towards skills. I wore the mask of my I wore the mask of my office for centuries. Like my gavel, it is a symbol, a testament to my authority. There is no need to remove it. That doesn't answer my question. It keeps going further. I have Wrath 4. What the fuck? That's so severe. And yet it must suffice. You go too far, Fatebinder. You have earned the court's displeasure, and I will hear no more out of you. Dismissed. Tunon slams the pommel of his gavel on the ground. What the fuck? They're like... all of these leaders kind of come across as like immature children whenever you talk to them, with how like moody and shitty they all get. So that was a jump. That's a lot of wrath. Yep. You press too hard for information regarding his true appearance. The fuck? The wrath caught up with the favor already, and they're like maxed out now. You must have so few chances to interact with Tunon, if that's how much it moves based on that. Holy crap. Alright. Alright, does Tunon... He doesn't have an individual reputation for his group, does he? Let's see. No, he does no Tunon faction, it's just Tunon himself. And weirdly enough, characters like the one I talked to downstairs are listed as Tunon, even though Tunon's not a faction, it's just a person. It's not separated like Graven Ash and Voices of Nerat. Wow. Blade and Mark's my best bud compared to these guys. I have approximately 5 Wrath with Tunon, Ash, and Nerat at this point. They all kind of deserve it, so it's fine. It's fine. There's not even unlocks to be had, are there? I'm just being a pain for the sake of it. Gotta find access to some of these things. I don't even have enough loyalty or fear with Lantry yet, huh? Let's see, they work together to create a slowing aura around a party member? That seems neat. What'd you get with Little Wrath? Blade Grave's Grasp, powerful attack that traps nearby enemies in twisted spires of rock. Petrifying them. I wish they weren't all combo abilities. I kind of wish these characters would just unlock abilities that they can use on their own. You just get a longer and longer list of co-op abilities, but that's kind of rough because it means that in order to use any of those skills, that your main character has to not really help in the fight anymore. That's really amusing that happened. The developers must have embraced the idea that Tunon's a really minor side character, despite their importance to the story. They're super important to the story, but they're almost never in the game. So they were like, well, how do we get Wrath with this guy? I don't know, ask him what's under the mask. And then that's what happened. Should I talk to Bladen? How about a little breathing room, kid? Nah, he's not much for talking. I wonder, is there like an alternate... Maybe in a different storyline you actually get to interact with that character. We'll see. Let's see. Yep, there's my evidence. I got a decent chunk of it on both of them. Hopefully I get to present it all at some point. Otherwise, yeah, it's about time for us to head off to Halfgate.